I used to ride dirt bikes. And when I was first learning to ride a dirt bike, the very first thing my friends taught me is look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. And when you're riding a very fast motorized bike, if you look where you don't want to go, that is exactly where you end up. And then you end up falling and crashing. And I learned all of that the hard way. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode with Tiff and Tony. Tony, hello, and how are you doing?
Good morning. How are you? I'm great, by the way. Yes, I am fantastic. I am doing well this morning. I am setting the pathway of my life in front of me, like I said many weeks ago, with an abundant mindset, and I am stepping into that on purpose. And so, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm giggling a little bit because I adopted a third dog, and for those of you who've been following along, I live in a van. So 3 dogs for 1 human in 1 van is exciting and a little bit chaotic. So If you hear some dog noises in the background, it's because my 2 puppies are playing. Awesome. I already took away the squeaky toys, so we'll see how this goes.
3 dogs, a human, in a van. That could be a movie title.
A lot of living creatures in 1 van. Tony, why don't you share, kind of intro our topic, and then we're gonna get into some life mapping, and I'm hoping you can all hear us over the dog grumble playing.
In essence, when you think about it, consciously or subconsciously, we have created the reality in which we live. We create this world in which we live in, and I mean that personally, right? This little bubble that follows around Tony Everett is the world that I've created in some way, shape, or form. And I mean that by consciously, I will make a decision to come to the office today, and so I am in the office today working. So consciously, I've made that decision. But subconsciously, and our subconscious is much more powerful than our conscious brain, subconsciously, we also create this environment we live in by kind of unknowingly making decisions, setting intentions, focusing on a particular aspect of our life. And I say that I had something go on this weekend. It's around soccer coaching. It wasn't that great, bless you. I could focus on the negative aspect of everything that went on kind of over this weekend. And in doing so, it brings my attention to the negativity, right? It's kind of like when you're riding a bike. If I'm riding a bike and I look to my right, there's almost this guarantee that I will actually veer off to the right, because our attention goes where we focus. So subconsciously, if I focus on the negativity, then suddenly I'm living in a negative world. And that will create a negative emotion, which will then also lead into negative actions and outcomes, et cetera, et cetera. So subconsciously, I could also decide to not focus on the negativity of that and see the positives that are going to come out of that. And in essence, I was coaching my daughter's soccer team. I got let go. And so now I'm not coaching my older daughter's soccer team, which is fine, because what I now get to do is I now get to sit on the sideline and watch my daughter play, which is going to be a whole new experience and a lot of fun for me. And I'm choosing now subconsciously getting in there and going, no, I'm going to focus on the positive side of this. And so, like I said, consciously or subconsciously, we create the world in which we live. So that means we can create the world in which we are going to live, right? If I can focus on being thankful, showing gratitude, seeing the abundance that's around me. I went for a bike ride yesterday and I was just focusing on the abundance of air and oxygen to fill my lungs, to give me energy to ride. And I had the most awesome ride. It was brilliant. I got to really experience nature, the trees, just seeing, the sun setting behind clouds, all of that good stuff. I got to experience it because I was focusing on the abundance that was around me and what that will lead to. Do you see where I'm going with that? That's this idea of we can create this this world in which we live. So that leads us to life mapping. Take it away. What have you got around that?
Yes. So first, I want to point out a few things that I was really drawn to in what you said. The first thing is the looking where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. For example, I used to ride dirt bikes. And when I was first learning to ride a dirt bike, the very first thing my friends taught me is look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. And when you're riding a very fast motorized bike, if you look where you don't want to go, that is exactly where you end up. And then you end up falling and crashing. And I learned all of that the hard way. So when I was able to change my mindset to looking past the obstacle and looking where I want to go, I started to really get the hang of it and started to actually become a much better motorcycle dirt bike rider. Secondly, what you had mentioned is focusing on the positives and recognizing that, okay, you were let go from your coaching soccer for your oldest daughter, and now that opened you up to a new opportunity to watch from the sidelines and get a different type of supportive role in your daughter's soccer games and her journey in playing soccer. And so much of life is recognizing that there's pros and cons to every situation and being able to process our feelings about the negatives and yet focus on the pros, focus on the positives, focus on the fact that this door closed and it gives me an opportunity to walk to a different door that might hold more benefits or different benefits, maybe a new season that we can glean lessons from and enjoy life in a way. Thirdly, I don't want this to come across as toxic positivity. That is in no way what we're talking about. What we are talking about is being able to recognize the negatives, recognize the obstacles, and reframe them so that we can keep moving forward in a healthy and successful way while processing our feelings about all the hard things and good things and all the in-betweens along the way.
I just want to jump in there to add to that. And Tiffany, I want to emphasize on what you just said there. That's exactly right. I actually had a chance to process the emotion over the weekend. It was tough news for me. I actually sat in my car and cried driving to go and visit a friend because it was a hard loss. And I was able to process that emotion of letting that part of my life go. But this is the choice, right? I can focus on the losing of something and just focus on the negativity and sit and wallow in that. Or I can sit there and accept it. It's happened, process the emotion, and then see the benefits that comes out of that. It's like being reborn into something new. We don't want toxic positivity. We want to actually say, process the emotion correctly, step out, see the positive that can come from that.
Okay, so life mapping is something that we can use as a tool to visualize all of these things in our head, even lists that we might have for goals and dreams we have, the pathway that we want to take our life in. Maybe even it could be in the literal shape of your life that you might have chosen last week. And so our challenge today for you is to get a big piece of paper, and it doesn't matter if you're an artist or not. It can literally be lines with like your scribble writing as milestones. And maybe if you are really creative and artistic, you can make it a beautiful piece of artwork and hang it on your wall. Regardless of what it looks like, we do encourage you to keep it somewhere where you will see it regularly, because it's a reminder of where you're going, what you want in life. And as you go along, you can look back at where you've come from and see the progress you've made. You can see the challenges you've overcome. So we want you to literally get out a piece of paper, choose black, choose any colors you want, any medium you want, and write down the milestones that you want to reach in life, the goals you want to reach in life, some of the beauty that you want to pull out of life, and draw a picture of what you want your life to look like, and get specific. Write like little notes or sentences, or label the milestones. For example, my life map could include maybe in one corner that would be like this big goal I have, like a piece of land. I want a dream homestead. So I'm going to draw my little plot of land with a little garden and all the dogs running around, with some like trees and my little yurt or tiny home. And I can draw milestones along the way. It can be a bigger map, maybe even geographically. It can look like whatever you want. There's no rules. We just want you to create some sort of visualization for you to see that will remind you of where you're going and why. You can write words of encouragement for yourself around it. You can have your kids help you. What do you think, Tony? And name one goal that you have that you're working towards.
And that's really, really cool stuff, getting that whole visualization. Because one of the things that you can do is sit with the goal of your tiny piece of land and really sit with it and let it almost penetrate your heart and your soul to say, does this really light me up? Does it fire me up? Does it bring passion and joy? And if it gives you a whole body smile, we've talked about this, that whole body yes, then step into it with all of your being, and then every day you can do something along the way. So actually my goal is, I've done this, I've got 3 of them. I want to be able to be in a position where I can work 10 months of the year and then take 2 months of the year as family explorations around the world. I want to be able to do that, and I can still work when I'm exploring. I can still be available to explore to the work audience. But I think that there's a lot of education for young people in the world of travel and exploration. And so it's a goal that I've set out there that, so along the way on that big goal, I hit some of the other milestones. PureGame being $1 million organization, so I can pay my staff the salaries that they're actually worth, that I can actually serve more kids, that we can create a licensed PureGame program. All of that good stuff is in that bigger goal, and it's a journey. And as you say, the life mapping, I'm going to draw a river and I'm going to have all of this down through the river to the estuary. The estuary will be my 10 months of year working and 2 months of year exploring.
That sounds so beautiful. And I'm even just thinking of your tattoo that you showed us last week, and how you already kind of have a life map tattooed permanently on your body, which I think is amazing. So bonus points again for anyone who gets a tattoo of their shape of their life. One of these days I will get a tree tattooed on me somewhere. So that could even be your life map. Maybe your life map is a tattoo. Maybe your life map is a mural on a wall in your house. Maybe you have a wall that you painted with the chalk paint, and you like chalk your map of your life on your wall, and then you can erase it and change it, or maybe use a dry erase marker in a giant mirror you have in your house. Take creative freedom, and we're so excited with you that this will help you start or keep pursuing all those dreams and goals you have in life, because they can be achieved.
And a lot of that is setting the intention to head in that direction, right? We talked about that intention of I'm going that direction will help you receive the luck of the world, right? That energy that you can actually step into.
And it guides and leads your decisions so that you make the big and small decisions along the way that actually get you to your goals.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that end in sight, it's really easy to get derailed, right? And then you end up in 12 other places instead of going this direction. Good luck. Have so much fun drawing out your maps, and we will see everyone next week.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you, bye.
Thank you so much for joining Tony and me in this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. We hope you feel encouraged and motivated to keep growing with us. If you like what we do here at PureGame, one of the best ways you can support us is by liking and sharing this video with your friends on social media. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel using the button directly below this video on YouTube, and you can donate at our website, www.thepurgame.org. And with that, we'll see you right back here next week.